For most of human history, hard work and survival were almost the same thing. Work harder, gather more resources, increase your chances of survival. The relationship was simple, direct, logical, and for thousands of years, it worked. Which is why one of the most widely accepted beliefs in modern society sounds perfectly reasonable. If you work hard enough, you will become wealthy. But there is a problem. The modern economy no longer operates according to the same rules. Today, some of the hardest working people in society remain financially vulnerable. Construction workers, factory workers, farm workers, delivery drivers, healthcare workers. Meanwhile, some individuals generate extraordinary wealth while they sleep. At first glance, this appears unfair, even irrational. How can less effort sometimes produce greater rewards? The answer reveals one of the most important systems hidden beneath the modern economy. Because wealth is not primarily determined by effort, it is determined by architecture. And the architecture of wealth follows a completely different set of rules than the architecture of labor. Today, we decode the system that separates hard work from wealth.
Every economic system must answer a simple question: how do people create value? For most individuals, the answer is labor. People exchange time for income, an hour of work, in exchange for compensation. The arrangement is straightforward: provide value, receive payment. The labor system built modern civilization: factories, hospitals, schools, transportation, infrastructure. Everything depends on labor. Without workers, nothing functions. But labor contains a structural limitation: time. Every human being receives the same allocation, 24 hours per day. No matter how talented, no matter how intelligent, no matter how ambitious, the supply remains fixed. This creates a ceiling. A worker can increase skills, increase productivity, increase compensation, but eventually, time becomes the bottleneck. The architecture limits scale. One person can only work so many hours. One individual can only be present in one place at one time. The labor system is powerful, but it is inherently linear.
Now consider a different system: ownership. Ownership operates according to entirely different rules. An employee works 1 hour. A business can operate thousands of hours simultaneously. An employee serves one customer at a time. Software can serve millions. An employee earns income through activity. An asset can generate income continuously. The distinction is profound. Ownership separates value creation from direct labor. This does not mean ownership requires no work. It often requires enormous effort, but the effort occurs at the creation stage. Once established, the system continues operating. A factory produces output. A rental property generates cash flow. A software platform serves users. A patent generates licensing revenue. A stock portfolio participates in economic growth. The owner is no longer selling time. The owner controls a productive system, and productive systems scale differently than labor. This is why ownership sits at the center of wealth creation throughout history. Not because owners work less, but because ownership changes the economics of scale.
At the heart of wealth creation lies a concept called leverage. Leverage allows one unit of effort to produce more than one unit of output. Technology is leverage. Capital is leverage. Media is leverage. Software is leverage. Teams are leverage. Ownership is leverage. Imagine two individuals. The first digs a hole using a shovel. The second builds a machine that digs thousands of holes. Both work, but one effort scales, the other does not. Modern wealth is often generated through scalable systems, platforms, networks, assets, infrastructure, intellectual property. These systems allow output to expand far beyond individual effort. And once scale enters the equation, the relationship between work and reward changes dramatically. The economy begins rewarding leverage more than effort alone, not because effort is unimportant, but because leverage amplifies effort. The machine outproduces the shovel. The system outproduces the individual.
This creates one of the great paradoxes of the modern economy. Hard work remains necessary, but hard work alone is insufficient. Many people interpret this statement as criticism of effort. It is not. Effort matters enormously, but effort must be connected to the right architecture. A highly productive worker inside a non-scalable system remains constrained. A moderately productive owner inside a scalable system may outperform them financially. The difference is not character. The difference is structure. The economy rewards outcomes, and outcomes are heavily influenced by systems. This explains why some professions generate high income but limited wealth. The individual earns well, yet remains dependent upon continuous activity. The moment activity stops, income stops. True wealth emerges when productive assets continue generating value independently. That transition marks the shift from labor dependency to ownership participation.
Most people believe wealth is a reward for effort. The architect sees something different. Wealth is often a reward for system participation. The question is not whether someone works hard. Millions of people work hard. The question is whether that effort creates ownership. Ownership of businesses, ownership of assets, ownership of networks, ownership of intellectual property, ownership of capital. History reveals a remarkably consistent pattern. The largest fortunes are rarely built through labor alone. They are built through ownership structures. The form changes. Factories become software. Railroads become platforms. Real estate becomes digital infrastructure. But the underlying principle remains unchanged. Ownership scales. Labor does not. The individuals who understand this distinction begin playing a different game. A game focused less on earning and more on acquiring productive systems.
The lesson is not to stop working hard. That would be the wrong conclusion. The lesson is to understand what hard work is building. Is it building temporary income or permanent ownership? Is it increasing activity or increasing leverage? Is it producing transactions or producing assets? Most people focus on effort. The architect focuses on architecture, because architecture determines how effort scales. A bridge allows one person to cross a river. An infrastructure network allows millions. The same principle applies to wealth. Individual effort matters, but systems determine magnitude. The modern economy rewards leverage, ownership, scale, and productive assets. The sooner this becomes visible, the easier it becomes to understand why some people remain trapped despite working harder than everyone around them. The system is not primarily measuring effort. It is measuring leverage. Most people spend their lives selling time. The architect spends their life acquiring systems, because wealth is not built by working harder than everyone else. It is built by owning things that work harder than you. This is Nexera, decoding systems, architecting wealth.